Joining us right now, a Christmas edition. This is our last conversation before the big holiday from your Sacramento Kings, and I'm sure he is so happy to be back in his own home after a 6-game road trip. It's Kevin Huerter. Or Kevin, somebody on Twitter brought this up as an idea. The Red Velvet Lounge. How do you feel about that?
We could do that. That's I like that idea. It's like it gives me a little like Judge's Chambers vibes.
Yeah.
Uh, the Red Velvet Lounge that's not bad. We could roll that in.
How great is it to be home?
It's great to be home. It's 12 long days on the road. The first week is always fine. It's okay to be away. You get to go to some cool cities, and then that second week usually gets you. You're just sick of living out of a suitcase, sick of going hotel to hotel. So it's great to be home, especially around the holidays.
Other than 3 wins, was there anything cool you did on the road? Anything that stands out? A restaurant, something you went and did?
For me, we got to go back to New York, so I saw a lot of friends when I was there. A couple college friends, a couple high school friends. Was able to get dinner with my family. So for me, that was definitely the highlight of that trip.
So before the Charlotte game, I spent the whole morning talking about how if there's one weird truth in the NBA, it's that the first game home from a long road trip is almost always a weird game, that people needed to be careful, assuming there was going to be a win, that for some reason in the NBA, when you get home from a long road trip, things are just weird. Now, I know that because I've covered the sport for 20 years, but I've never played it, and I can't explain it other than it happens. Can you do a better job than me as to why they seem to be wacky all the time?
I think it's for me. It's very similar to like the first game of the season. There's a lot of adrenaline in the building. There's a lot of excitement to be back home. I think sometimes you take home for granted. You expect to win at home. This is the NBA. You need to win your home games. There's an expectation that comes with playing at home that sometimes you relax when you're playing at home. Just you assume you're going to win. You assume the crowd is going to be great to help you win. Uh, it's always tough. A day like yesterday, for me, I think the legs were a little bit heavier coming off of that road trip. We finally got a day off on Saturday, a good practice on Sunday, but it's I guess it's just a different feeling. You have an adrenaline and excitement of playing back at home that sometimes it's a bad excitement. You tend to overlook things or take some things for granted, and maybe you expect and assume to win when really it was a Charlotte team that record wise doesn't look great, but they finally got some guys healthy, and they're a tough team to beat.
Can you something that you've been experiencing that's been sort of weird for you this year, and the whole team kind of caught the bug, if you will, yesterday is free throws. It's a good shooting free throw team, a team from the line, and when you look at the amount of free throws misses, I'm sure you have. That's the difference +1 in the ball game yesterday. Does that kind of tie into what you were just talking about? Is there a psychological thing? What would you put your finger on it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely culprit number one when it comes to the free throw line right now. I think it's there's a focus level. There's obviously confidence going to the line. Um, Obviously yesterday wasn't great. It seems like we've had a couple of these games this year where we haven't shot great from the line collectively, and then we go on a run as a team where we shoot really well for a couple games or weeks at a time. Just kind of one of those games. I felt like we had a lot of in and outs. It wasn't like we had bad misses, but we had good free throw shooters going the line and just weren't able to knock them down yesterday.
I want to share an anecdote. I've covered MMA for a long time, and I wonder if this meshes at all with basketball. A local fighter, Joseph Benavidez, got knocked out in a title fight back at Arco Arena here a few years back. And when I was talking to him afterwards, I said, "What do you learn from this fight?" And he said, "Nothing. I'd rather get beat up for 5 rounds because what am I going to learn? Duck. It's a game of inches, and I can't improve on that. It's literally millimeters." And I thought of you when I was watching the game last night. Is how do you correct something like your 3-point shots, quote unquote, off when it's literally a millimeter or two? The difference between being 80% and 50% from the line is a millimeter. Is it more mental in that case or physical?
For me, it's both. I think a lot of it has to do with reps and finding your confidence. The biggest thing you can do when shooting is shooting the ball with confidence. And if you're hoping to make shots, you're not going to make any. And so sometimes you're going to have in and outs. You obviously you got to keep shooting, but the more your brain and your mind sees the ball go in the hoop, especially in practice, the more confidence you're going to shoot with. And for me, obviously the results are going to come if you shoot more confidently.
I know you did one thing on the road. Obviously, you worked out or did something. I was entirely impressed, as I think a lot of fans were, with the way you just threw Mason Plumlee into the third row early in that game when they called you for the foul. I mean, this guy is twice your size, and you just must have tossed him 10 feet. I just wanted to compliment you on your workout skills.
It was a very long summer of trying to work hard and get the body right, and he felt it. I think he was a little bit
Yeah.
intimidated coming to the paint, and felt the muscle, and got him out of there pretty quickly.
How do you I'm not saying he flopped, although he flopped, I'll say that. How do you in this day and age, as the NBA changed, you're relatively still young to the league, but have you noticed a little more, a little bit less in those vet type moves, whether it's a flop or whether it's just, the things maybe refs don't see?
It's all part of the game. I think it really is a skill. Learning how to manipulate fouls it's a true skill in this league. I think guys get better and better at it as their careers go on. And we have one of the best in the league at doing it. I think Harrison drawing fouls and knowing how to manipulate fouls and manipulate how guys are guarding them. And he's one of the best in the league at doing it. So I think, there's other guys that we go up against that are good at drawing fouls, but it's hard when, I think HB shot 8 free throws or something like that in the first half. And a lot of it was driving and just knowing how to use his body and knowing how to create contact and draw fouls. So it's a part of the game. I think it's something that in the off season, just like shooting a basketball, you got to work on how to draw fouls. I know that's something that I worked on this previous summer, literally playing one-on-one and searching for guys' hands, or you're trying to notice how they're guarding you if they're out of position and creating contact. But it's all part of the game. It's what makes some guys better than others.
Kevin Huerter with us on the Kevin Huerter Show. Domantas Sabonis had arguably the second best line in the NBA last night to Nikola Jokic's bonkers night the other night. De'Aaron at 37. And you were playing a team you were favored by 10 to beat. As you said, this is a healthier team and they're dangerous. But your two stars go off like that and the team loses. What are you thinking about after the game? How do you explain it? Is that more of a team thing, an individual thing? How does that work out the next day?
Yeah, we got to be better around them. I think myself included, some of the other guys got to be better around them and being in the right spots, making their life easier, knocking down shots. We're going to obviously ride with those two guys. I think De'Aaron and Domas are going to take us as far as his team is going to go, and it's going to be everybody else that's got to be along for the ride with them and try to be good night in and night out. So everybody else has just got to be better. I think our focus level a little bit wasn't there last night, especially defensively, had more breakdowns than usual. And we've been getting better a lot in that department. And, the film session after that game, as we got together as a team, wasn't great. Obviously we had a lot of my bads in there, and, that happens. It's, I think that's one of the things that you can point out when you get back after a long road trip, is trying to play with energy and use the crowd and playing free, and the excitement level that sometimes you let, different things slip for us, especially on the defensive end. So we really didn't play well, and we still had an opportunity to win that game. We missed a lot of free throws, but for the most part, we got outplayed, and Domas and De'Aaron still were almost able to pull it out for us. But we got to be better around them.
You said earlier expectations, and that's something that's semi-new to this city. I think you've noticed this by now. There's a lot of fans that are very much not spoiled and very much hurting from the last 16 years. The fact that there's any expectations other than losing is fantastic. But it seems like you guys have developed that through the year, that you literally expect to win every ball game.
We do. We really do. I think it goes back to how we started in the preseason. We felt like we had a really good, tough training camp. A lot of guys competing for roster spots, for rotation spots, and then that preseason we came out and were able to handle teams pretty easily, and definitely winning the season with a confidence, with a confidence in this group and what we've been able to do. And a lot of the games that we've lost, we haven't played well. And you go back and we look at the film, and there's a lot of reasons why we lose those games, and things that we can fix that are in our control as a team, that we can fix and take care of. And then, when we do the little things and when we play how we practice, our results are usually pretty positive. And so I think as a group, us seeing those results and seeing the film afterwards, agree with us that has created confidence with us that, we expect to win at home. Our fans have been great this year. I mean, last night was the best crowd we'd seen in 6 games. We went on the road, and there was an energy in the building. You could see a couple of the Charlotte guys looking up pregame, just at the energy that was in the place, especially tip-off. And we want to win at home, but there's definitely an expectation, especially with the way that Domas has been playing and Fox has been coming along these past couple of games, that there is an expectation. We're a confident group. We have to be confident.
Kevin Huerter with us. I know that. Well, let's see. I'm doing math in my head. I think you were either in preschool or kindergarten back when the early 2000s Kings were going at it literally with the Lakers. And I know this isn't your first shot at the Lakers with the Kings, but LeBron James coming to town. I want to say this is the first home game against the Lakers. I could be wrong this year. Do you have a sense of this little brother mentality we have here, the rivalry with the Lakers, even though they're not doing great this year? Is it still one of those games you get especially up for?
It is. I mean, LeBron is one of those players you get up for. First and foremost, the Lakers are another one of those teams, regardless if you play for the Kings or play for anybody else, that you get up for. I was in college going to a Washington Wizards game when they played the Lakers, and they had D'Lo, and I think Brooke Lopez was on their team, and 3/4 of that building were Laker fans. So that was the first taste I got with, how that organization travels and the popularity they have really across the country. And doesn't really matter who they have on their team. People in every city are for some reason Laker fans. And they came here in the preseason. There was a big crowd at their tunnel ready for those guys to come out. So they just had a back-to-back. They sat a lot of guys, I think, expecting it or hoping to come into here healthy and ready to go with energy. And so it's going to be a great atmosphere. I think that we're going to be ready for it, up for the challenge. I don't think we left that last game with a great taste in our mouth, letting one slip away. And so there's a lot at stake. We're going to be ready for it. I think going to be a high-level game with a lot of energy, and hopefully we can get it done.
One thing we learned on that road trip too is Keegan Murray has to go get ChickfilA, and I'm always curious about the little things. Obviously, he's a rookie. You gotta do rookie things. Do you guys make an order beforehand and text him, or does he just go grab a gang of ChickfilA and you guys just all pick from the smorgasbord?
It started off with specific orders, and then I think he got overwhelmed. So now it's he goes and he gets whatever, it's 12 spicy chicken sandwiches, 12 regular, it's a whole pack of nuggets. The great thing about it is that the food is supposed to be for the players. I think most guys just snack on it just because it's definitely a cheat meal. But our coaches are who actually enjoy it the most, because they're the ones that get all the quote unquote the leftovers or whatever we don't eat. The flight attendants take it back to them. But at this point, he gets a lot of food, more than we can really eat. But everybody loves Chick-fil-A, especially to start a long road trip.
What was your rookie duty or duties?
I had to carry around a backpack, so I was wearing a Frozen, that Disney movie. So
Yes.
any team event, whether it was a team flight, a team practice, a game, we had to have this backpack. So at any point, a vet can look at us and ask for it. So that was probably the worst of it. But then for flights, I had to bring Krispy Kreme donuts. That ended up getting banned by a couple of people on our medical staff, just not loving that the whole team was downing dozens and dozens of Krispy Kreme donuts before flights. But other than that, it was mostly just stupid little errands here and there.
Last thing, it's our last conversation before Christmas. I know you got a chance to see the family out in New York. I know you have a lot of fans listening right now. We don't want to think of you alone by a tree with a little Santa hat on for Christmas. So will there be family out? Will you have friends, something going on?
Yeah, I got friends out here. I got a dinner Christmas Eve, which will be good. My family won't be able to make it out, so Christmas morning will be an early FaceTime to them, and then hopefully see some friends on Christmas Day here in Sac. But I think there could be other people in the same boat as me, with not a lot of family around, but that's why we got friends. So
and how do you do out here with the cooking? Are you mostly a takeout guy? How is Kevin Huerter's skill level in the kitchen?
To be honest, I gave up on cooking when I moved out here. I don't have the time. Mostly I don't have the time to go grocery shopping.
Sure.
I know the first thing someone's going to say is use Instacart and all that. But the thing is, I try to do grocery shopping, and I can't tell you how much money I would waste just with food going bad. Because I'm not buying the mac and cheese. I'm not buying the boxes of cereal that can sit in your cabinet for a month. You have to eat healthy, and healthy food goes bad. And so I got someone out here that cooks for me, that just delivers meals to me weekly. I get to eat those, and then we have a great food staff at the facility that I get breakfast and lunch at. I do not complain about any of those meals, so they take care of us. But I gave up on cooking when I moved out here. Just not trying to waste money with having food sit in the fridge and just getting to throw it out every week.
See that, kids? It doesn't matter whether you're making a little or a lot. You be responsible financially and don't waste, and things will be fine. Last thing, I know you're a golf guy like me. Did you get a chance at all to see Tiger and Charlie out at the PNC tournament?
I didn't. I've seen videos. Like, I've seen all the social media stuff, but I wasn't able to watch it live.
We were kicking around a question as to who is going to end up with more pressure on them, LeBron James at 16 or Charlie Woods at 16. It's getting crazy.
I would go with Charlie Woods just because golf is an individual sport. Basketball is a team sport. Bronny is, when you have a name of your LeBron James Jr., you can't hide from it. But there's a certain element if it's a 5-on-5 game and using teammates, and maybe the pressure can be deferred a little bit. When you're on the golf course, it's you and you. So it's I think Charlie is definitely going to feel that pressure a little bit more than Bronny might, at least off the bat.
We'll see you tonight. Kings Lakers, 6:30 pregame, 7:00 tip right here on Sactown Sports, looking to bounce back against those hated SoCal rivals. We appreciate you coming with us and talking every week. And Merry Christmas to you and your family, Kevin.